Welcome back to the Jays Without Podcast. I'm your host Jay, and today we're going to be talking about my top five QBs in the NFL right now. This is my list of top five quarterbacks currently in the NFL going to the 2024 season. The guys that I think, or yeah, like I said, the cream of the crop at the top of the list. So before we get into that, we'll also talk about the Dallas Cowboys a little bit as well. But before we get that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Um, you know, to help us grow this space here on YouTube. And also check us out on audio podcast platforms. We're there, Jay Smith Down. Follow us on the socials, Jay Smith Down Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. So make sure y'all take care of that right now because like I said, we're trying to grow this space. So please help us do that. Today, like I said, yeah, top five quarterbacks. So and this is like now, this is based off of a performance of last season and currently just skill set and just leadership ability as well, things like that. I factor all those things into this list when I make these type of lists. So I'm going to be having a lot more of these come out with receivers and running backs and um, corners and things like that. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos. Soon coming up. So just be on the lookout for that, guys. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Do you think a guy should go here, a guy should go there? So, but I think most people would probably be um, con- content with the list I put out. They would think it's valid. Like I said, they would think that this list is valid. So, without further ado, let's begin. So first up, Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, three-time Super Bowl champion. Patrick Mahomes already. He's this guy in his first year starting had 55 touchdowns as in his first year playing in the NFL. Um, and he's just been phenomenal. And of course, last season the Chiefs struggled a little bit, but Patrick Mahomes, of course, struggled with drops and defensive inconsistencies, and some of their great players weren't playing as well. But you know what? It's like you have to have that guy that's going to rally the troops around. And like the Chiefs, hate them, whatever the case may be, they're a team that they're built on their coaching and their leadership by their great players, most notably Patrick Mahomes. And Travis Kelce as well, but most notably Patrick Mahomes. Patrick is a guy. He's very chill. You see him off the field. He's very chill, melancholy, that type of thing. But on the field, he's a beast. He's in his teammates' faces, and sometimes in the coaches' faces. He's a guy that loves the game. He's passionate about the game, and he wants the best out of his team and himself. And he's gonna rally his troops. He's gonna. Think about that. Like, especially the way they were kind of playing and struggling last year. To go from where they were to being in the Super Bowl and winning, to flip that switch, you need your quarterback to step up and lead in that environment, in that type of situation. And Patrick Mahomes did that for his team. But not only that, it's just he's just statistically he's great year in and year out. Last year, not one of his great years, struggled with turnovers, but I still have him as my number one quarterback because no one else, has proven to me that they are better. Patrick has, and of course, you have to factor in rings, right? He's got three of them. The other guys on this list don't have any, so that also plays a role. But that's not to say that this can't change, and I believe it is, and I'll get to that in a second when I get talking about these other guys here on the list. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes is number one. Number two on my list is Joe Burrow. Now I know Joe Burrow didn't play last year; he's hurt. But listen, when this guy's healthy, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. The deep ball, the accuracy, he's very pinpoint on that. Very good at moving around the pocket, shifting up and down and finding guys, and it helps when you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Um, and he had Tyler Boyd at one point. He's not there anymore, but and it's just Joe Burrow is like an amazing quarterback. We all knew this back in his college days at LSU, and arguably he had one of the greatest seasons for a quarterback in college football like history that year. Over responsible for 60 touchdowns total, 55 passing touchdowns that year. He had his breakout year at LSU in the 2019 season. It was just phenomenal, and we all knew he was going to go number one. And I still think of that draft class, he is the best player of that draft class. I don't, like of that 2019 draft class, he is the best player to come out because nobody really did it. Nobody really did it better. So as far as I've seen, take his team to the AFC Championship game and to the Super Bowl. Had he had a better offensive line, probably would have won the Super Bowl that year. But it didn't happen. So, and he got hurt last year. But since he's going to this year fully healthy, Joe, I expect to have a great season for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I believe they're going to. I mean, they're going to be in the conversation now. Are they going to? Are they? Is this team as good as the teams that they've had in the past? No, no, not the best team they fielded. You know, they've lost some guys. They don't have some guys that they had in the past before. Trey Hendrickson no longer there. Um, I believe he's not. But yeah. So it's like, or is he? I know he was trying to get traded from there. So, but as far as I'm concerned, he is still a Bengal. But anyway, the point of the matter is, guys, the point of the matter is, the Bengals are a great team. When everybody's fully healthy, they are hard to beat. Even and now they're in a tough division with the AFC North with the Steelers and the who are going to be good too. The Ravens, of course, and I'll get to them in a second. You know that's and the Browns I'm not too worried about. You know, but anyway, um, yeah. So yeah, just Joe Burrow number two. Number three on my list is um, hmm, see, this is like I want to give this to Lamar Jackson, but at the same time, I can give it to CJ Stroud too. Now, Lamar Jackson has accomplished more, but even then, it's like he's as far as like right now. I mean, if we're not, you know, I added in yes, playoffs, all those things. Yes, it's a factor in my list, but at the same time, if we're just talking like just straight up like really good, like you know, like CJ Stroud had a great season last year for a rookie. He had an amazing season last year, over 20, had like what 25 touchdown passes, not that many turnovers. You know, just a great season by him, offensive player of the year. I mean, in his first season, you know, and this is a guy like you talk about a leader. CJ and Lamar is a great leader too. But CJ Stroud, man, I talked about him before on this podcast a lot, but you know, I just admire him so much because he's an amazing leader. He was a hard worker and he wants to go out there and prove his haters wrong. But at the same time, like Patrick, he rallies his team. You know, he's a guy. He's a little soft spoken, but you know when it's time to play, he's gonna get everybody on one accord. So I think he's gonna be one of the better quarterbacks. I think yeah, he's definitely a top five quarterback going into this season. He's definitely a top five quarterback in the league right now. Well, I'm stating that fact. CJ Stroud is a top five QB right now. Is he the third best QB in the league? Yeah, I could say you can make a case for that. You know, like Lamar hasn't really done anything either in the playoffs. You know, so I mean that's just being truthful. Like it's facts. You know, he hasn't done much. Um, he's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong; he's a great player. But when you look at the Ravens, they haven't really, you know, as far as under Lamar Jackson's tutelage, they have not accomplished much at all. A few one AFC Championship game appearance last year where they weren't where the offense kind of sputtered out when they were going away from what they were supposed to do. Not really Lamar's fault, but even in the past, you know, so it's like he hasn't gotten them to that big game yet, you know, and until he does, it puts him down a little bit in that conversation right now. So I'd probably stick him at my fourth best QB. I'll put C.J. Stroud as my third best quarterback in the league right now. Fifth best, that's going to go to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a beast. You know, he struggled. He struggled with his you know, accuracy, and he had a lot of turnovers last year. Now his best ball, and it doesn't help that you're losing. You lost your best receiver, Stephon Diggs, and you know your top target is going to be pretty much Khalil Shakir and the kid from Florida State, Keon Coleman, right? Like that's not enough. That's not going to be enough. The Bills right now, honestly, are not in a good situation at all. Not in a good situation at all. They are not like they're right now. I think it's safe to say that the Bills should go into rebuild mode right now. I think that's safe to say because at this point, like you're not going to be able to compete with Kansas City, with Baltimore, with Cincinnati, with Houston, even with Pittsburgh. You're not going to be able to compete with them. I don't think you know because think about it. Now we were talking about my podcast the other day with my last episode with Colby, who does Cole from those show. He was, you know, he mentioned you know, an important thing was like they lost like 31-17. The Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Bills in the playoffs, but it was only by like 31-17. And they were without uh, TJ Watt, who didn't play, and their quarterback was Mason Rudolph. You know, they didn't have a legit quarterback starting back there for them. No shade to Mason, but now they got Russell Wilson, who's an experienced starter in this league. He's won a championship before, like so. You know, that being said, the Bills just right now are kind of in the bottom of the barrel in the AFC as far as I'm concerned. They'll win. They'll win some games in the regular season just because of Josh Allen and the deep. But the defense is has the regressed. Um, I mean, offensively. you're just not the same, and it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna fall a lot's gonna fall on him, So, but that's what happens when you're top QB in the league. That's when you play that position. That's what happens. That's the pressure that falls upon you. For you, the expectations are high for you to go out and perform. So, um, yeah, I did. So that's my list, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Now I'm going to shift gears to the Cowboys. All right, for a second. So yes, the Dallas Cowboys are America's dysfunction. They are America's dysfunction. Like this. I don't know, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a franchise that's like they used to be so good and they just have the biggest fall off like ever. Like I've never seen anything like that, and I can't stand the Cowboys, but I'll be honest, like they have a talent, they field a talented team year in and year out, but they can't get it done when it matters. And a lot of it has to do with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not a top quarterback in this league. He's not top five. He's definitely not top 10. He's maybe top 15 statistically in the regular season. He'll put up good numbers if he's healthy. But when it matters in the postseason. That's what matters. People care about playoff wins, Super Bowls. That's what the talk of the town is now. The Cowboys haven't done that. Dak Prescott has not won more than one playoff game in his career. So it's like as far as in a season, like single season, he's not done that. He's not made it to the NFC Championship game at all, at all. And so it's just like at this point the Cowboys have to consider like if this the last chance that we give, is this Dak Prescott's last chance? Like you have to seriously have that conversation right now, because if he misperforms in this season like in he didn't appear in the previous seasons, especially in the playoffs where they throw up a dud right there, then it's like against the Packers at home against the seventh seed at your house, and you throw two pick sixes and you're getting sacked and you're just not playing good football. The whole team wasn't. So it was a collective effort, but still, he didn't play. You're supposed to be the QB. You're supposed to rise to the challenge. You're supposed to lead your team to victory. He didn't do that, and I think right now, like the front office and the ownership has to have conversations about that Prescott being a starting quarterback. They haven't extended him yet. Um, I don't believe they should. I think they should let him walk if there is no improvement. And if the Cowboys pull the same old Cowboys this year in the playoffs, then you got to pull the plug on Dak. You got to pull the plug. You got to let him walk. I think you pull the plug on McCarthy too. Fire Mike McCarthy. If you're coaching there, that's gonna get that these guys will take seriously, and for them to for them to go out there and win. Like I know Cowboys fans, you hate this, but hey, this is the truth. You guys, your team is a dysfunction. And they're an embarrassment to the NFL. Um, Harsh, but it's the reality of it. And Jerry Jones as an owner, it's like, okay, dude, at some point you got to start quit caring about the money and the glitz and glamour and putting together a football team that's actually going to go out and compete. But at the same time he has, but it just they can't get it done for some reason. I don't know what the exact reason is. Maybe it's the distractions, maybe it's so many things going on within the franchise itself and all these things. I don't know what it is, but the Cowboys better figure it out, because if they don't, it's going to be very ugly for Jerry Jones and company. So I just wanted to go and talk about that, in the last part, in the last segment here of the show today. But like I said, those are my top five QBs going into the season this year. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the Dallas Cowboys. Are they America's dysfunction, or do you still believe that they are America's team and that they will go out and win a Super Bowl this year? That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Jay Smith Down. Thank you.